haven't heard this over the weekend, Kanye West dropped a new song featuring his daughter Northwest, but more importantly, featuring Diddy and Diddy's son King Combs. Allegedly, Kim Kardashian sent a cease and desist. It went before a judge to try and stop the song from being released, and she doesn't want North to be associated with Kanye or Diddy's behavior right now because of obvious reasons. Sources say Kanye then promised not to release the song, but he also leaked messages between himself and Kim fighting over the trademark of Northwest's name. Kim has the trademark, so you can't just put out a record without her
permission.
And it seems like it's a weird argument to have, but when you have somebody like Kanye who is going to do things like this, I mean, it seems even putting out the texts, that's become normalized by him, and it's really not cool because, like, that's supposed to be, like, the parenting part is just supposed to be different. But anyway, this is at least 40 seconds of it, okay? Because you can hear what Kim is upset about.
Roll something up, take a puff for the namesake. Put the whole world against me, I'ma keep the same face. I wanted all the real love, the fake hate. The headlines gon' still say vacate the throne. Young, I'm home, dead wrong like B.I. Still the king like T.I. Still bop like D.I.G.D.Y. Close your eyes, you don't wanna see me fly. I can't wait to see their face when we collide.
Doing everything I wanted, that's the key to life. When you see me shining, then you see the light. Running through the jungle like a cheetah ride. Surrounded by fake friends I don't even like. When you see me shining, then you see the light. When you see me shining, then you see the light. Everything they wrote, it ain't even right. Okay, good night.
Why would you want your daughter on a Diddy song?
Well, that's exactly. She's worried about the publicity that this song's going to get because. I
mean, as a dad, why would you want to thrust your kid into that light? You got all these different artists that you could deal with. Why would you put your young daughter into a song with Diddy, knowing what all is around him?
You are 100% correct. Everybody thinks the way that you do, except for Kanye. Because Kanye's looking at it like, oh, I'm going to put Diddy on this song and everybody's going to talk about it because Diddy's on it.
That's
the way Kanye thinks, man.
That's nasty work right there. It's like they basically had messages back and forth that is out there. You can look at it online. But Kanye is also attacking what he calls the Kardashian mob for taking away his parenting rights. He's basically went on this long tirade on X. He's like, yes, I have beef with people that froze my account, that took my kids away, that tried to put me in jail. He's still talking about that. And then he says, I don't want, this is the weird part. He says, I don't want to just see my kids. I want to raise them. 4 minutes later, he wrote, I need to have say on what they wear, like where they go to school, who their friends are, whose houses they sleep over, whether my daughter wears lipstick or perfume. All these rights have been taken away from me by the Kardashian mob, Hulu, and Disney, and the bigger agenda is to use the selectively bred black children to be platforms to influence black people.
Oh, it's their fault? It's not you wearing a swastika shirt or talking badly about religion or anything like that?
The decisions that have, the custody is 50-50 with them, but the decisions are pretty much like whoever the parent has. They basically settled this in 2022. They were each awarded joint custody with equal access to their 4 kids. Who we don't never hear nothing about Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. Like those kids ain't got nothing going on. But North is outside, and Northwest is the reason that they're fighting. West is also responsible for child support and 50% of the children's education and security expenses, according to their agreement. He continued, just seeing my kids is like visitation. I'm like I'm in prison seeing my kids, and I don't care if I live or die or if I'm in jail or free. I especially don't care about whatever these blank celebrities got to say because they're slaves to the Jewish.
See, I would usually fight for fathers trying to get custody of their kids, but I think what Kanye's doing is very dangerous, not only to himself, but also to his family too, because you're kind of spreading hate. And the hate speech with what you're wearing, dude.
The hate speech and all that stuff aside, you're doing a damage to your daughter because your daughter wants to be like daddy and be on the records. And that's what they don't, she don't get that from Kim.
No.
It's the one thing she doesn't get. So she goes to Daddy. Daddy has these vocals of her, and so he throws it on the record. She's not seeing, why am I being tied to Diddy and all of the nastiness and everything, and the anti-woman stuff that he has centered around him. And Kim, while I really dislike Kim a lot, like on different avenues, she has the right to stick up for her daughter as a
100%.
woman, saying, I don't want my daughter involved with Diddy.
No, for sure. And not even just that. Like, this dude still is in court right now for what he's doing. No parent is going to want any of their children around somebody like that right now.
Diddy also had to come into court because he has 2 new indictments. Surprise, surprise. 2 new indictments that were unveiled against him. Diddy was told about these 2 indictments for the first time on Friday. 2 more women have accused the rapper of forced labor and abusive treatment while working for him. Diddy is currently facing sex trafficking charges, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He appeared in court, which the headline said he looked like Grady from Sanford and Son, because he was all gray up top and had the gray beard and everything else. He's not going on trial until May 5th, and they're saying they don't show any pictures of it, but they have the cartoon that's there, and he does look a lot like Samuel L. Jackson in that movie.
They don't have hair club for men in jail. Sorry. Like, that's what happens, man. You don't get the luxuries that you get when you're outside. It's like Diddy, a lot of things have changed for him, man, including that hair color.
It's funny because there's a lot of headlines in here about G Deal, his former security guy. And it's like, the one thing is that everybody wants to talk about Diddy's sexuality. Nobody cares. Like, I think everybody thought Diddy might have, dabbled on both sides. That ain't the headline. No. The headline is, the nefarious things that he was involved in and all of that stuff from way back till now. So I mean, it's sad.
The focus should be on the people that he's hurt, and it looks like that they're gonna possibly get some kind of justice here. But there's so many people still coming out. What's the number up to now?
I don't know. I mean, it's a high number. Justin Bieber, who has also been intermixed in all of that, is still putting up messages on social media that have people alarmed. He just put up a bunch of posts talking about how he felt like he was a fraud and he felt like he was unqualified most days. Well, he went and shared another cryptic message, which is, a lot of people have been, tying him to the Diddy stuff and saying he's been a victim, and they've been kind of watching him just basically fold into this shell of a person who he used to be. But he put up a lengthy post. And he put up, he said, I was always told when I was a kid not to hate, but it made me feel like I wasn't allowed to have hate. And so I didn't tell anyone that I had it, which made me feel like I was drowning, unsafe to acknowledge it. I think we can only let hate go by first acknowledging that it's there. How couldn't we feel hate from all of the hurt that we've experienced? And it was basically to the song of SZA, I Hate You. Somebody needs to keep their eyes on him. Because they got a new baby situation and all this stuff. And it's really just, you could be introspective, but man, it's like everything about him right now is just like victimized, hurt, and crushed.
Like, do you think he's calling out for help, low-key?
Yes, long distance. He's calling for help. Yes, there's something going on with him where I don't know if he's worried something's going to come out. I don't know if something has already come out and he's just like reacting to it, or if he's just reacting to the fact that the memories, because people were saying that all of the stuff, the old videos and the things that were all being put out when Diddy was being kind of like, dragged in the media, were all centered around Justin Bieber. Maybe that had a trigger to him or something because of the stuff that he went through. So I don't know, but they better keep their eyes on him because it just doesn't sound good.
You think Kanye would benefit from a conservatorship? Like, do you think that it's at this point that he needs to have one? Like somebody watching him or like kind of monitoring what he's doing? Because that's what a lot of people, they're even saying that people are going to try to petition to get him. A
conservatorship is going to control your money. Mm. I think Kanye has if Kanye got a Twitter and a studio, he's still going to be able to do all of this stuff that you worried about. I mean, control of his money does what? Does nothing. He's still going to be able to tweet hate speech. He's still going to be able to put up weird images. He's still going to have access to his kids and still be able to put them in the studio and drop a song whenever he wants to. So a conservatorship really isn't going to, I don't think that's the angle. He's not out here like buying bombs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he's super weird right now. And the fact that I don't know what his medical case is, but he keeps leaning on this fact that I'm not bipolar, I'm autistic. And it's like, where did that come from? Like, I mean, you know, and if he is in the spectrum of autism, I still don't think that's a reason for him to be like, okay, this is why I'm acting this way. He's acting out because he's just a mess. So, I mean, I
think he's hurt, man. I think deep down he really... Kanye.
Kanye's been hurt. We know he's been scarred since Donda left. His mom died, and that was a lot. But, okay, unfortunately, I share that with him. I can't go out here and act the ass because my mom's gone. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, I know she was a center for him, just like everybody else's parents are a center for them. But, I mean, we're watching him fall... Now, I don't think a conservatorship is going to help him. I think he's going to have an epiphany where maybe if his kid was old enough to say, Daddy, why did you put me in? I don't want to be involved in that. Maybe he could see then, like, hey, I'm hurting my kid by trying to do this power struggle back and forth with the mom. Like, you know, hopefully they would get to that point.
He just needs help, man. I hope he gets it.
I mean, yeah, but I would expect it to come anytime soon because he ain't really listening to nobody.
If you want more, and I know you do, make sure you hit like and hit subscribe right below.